What's going on, everybody? David here from Bluckers Videos and Toys, and today we are going to be taking a look at the Jurassic World Dominion Strike N Roar Giganotosaurus, or as others like to call it, Giganotosaurus. Now, there is no rhyme or reason for how to pronounce this particular name, Giga or Giga. It's just, I guess, whatever your preference is. I don't think there is a right or wrong way to say it. So, but I'm pretty sure throughout the video I might say it both ways. Knowing me. But anyways, I know here we are in 2024. We're finally reviewing this thing. This was released back in 2022, but the spring of 2022, that is. But here we are, the spring of 2024, finally looking at it. But the only reason why I waited so late to review this is because I didn't have this in my collection at the time. This thing was was selling at Walmart and other retailers for like $49.99, and plus tax and all that. So tax is pretty high on certain things mainly when it comes to action figures. So it was close to like $50 for this big old thing. And for what it is, and you can determine if it was worth it or not. But lo and behold, this thing was just pegging shelves forever. And I think they tried to get rid of this thing for the last year or so, trying to reduce prices and stuff. And finally, I think Walmart just said no more, just clear it all out so they can make room for the newer stuff. So I ended up getting this for $10. So I'm clearance for $10 at my local Walmart. Now your Walmarts may vary, but yeah, I did get this on clearance for $10. So very happy about that. I waited the super long game for this thing, and plus I did want to buy the 3-pack because I already have the T-Rex and the Therizinosaurus. But I am on the lookout for the Ellie Sattler that came with that set, and that was like the only way you can get her. They didn't release her individually with the smaller dinosaurs like they did with Ian and Alan and so forth. So she was the exclusive figure for that big old 3-pack. But I'm still looking for an Ellie, and I'm pretty sure I'll find her on secondary market eventually. She doesn't fetch a high price, but she does fetch a pretty reasonable higher price than what you might think it fetches for. It's been a while since I looked for one, but it's one of my missions this year is to find me an Ellie Sattler and an Alan Grant. Those are the two I don't have for the Dominion line. And but anyways, but yes, like I said, I got this on clearance for $10 at my local Walmart. So, like I said, your Walmarts may vary. I think I've seen some go for $25 on clearance, and I've seen others for $15. But one of the Walmarts that I happened to stop by, he was on for $10. So I went ahead and snagged one. It's not the excuse me, it's not the best looking Giganotosaurus, because it's got that mixture of the white with the paint, with the green paint, and it's just kind of like all over the place. I've seen others that look a lot better, but this is probably out of the 3 or 4 that I saw at this particular Walmart, this one's probably the best looking one. The other ones had like splotches, like all, I don't know, it was just weird spots, and the teeth were all mispainted. Well, not mispainted, it was just chipping. It looked like it had like a bunch of cavities and stuff. So, but yeah, that's how that turned out. But anyways, enough jibber jabber. This is your basic Dominion packaging. It's more of an open style, and the funny thing is they gave this thing a longer tail than they do normally with their dinosaur figures with the open tail, because this is probably the extra piece that they gave it to make it longer for the gimmick. And normally, if this didn't have the extra gimmick, they'll probably stop right there. That's probably how long they would have gave the tail. You know, maybe at this point they probably wouldn't have added that piece. That would have been the end point. But more likely, you probably would have been missing maybe that much if it was just a regular figure without the dual gimmick. And I did try this in the packaging. The action feature does work, but I don't think the jaw opens as, from what I remember when I got it, the jaw opens when it does the roar. I think it just does the jaw opening when you hit the button at the bottom, because it's got several different gimmicks. So it demonstrates right here. It says strike attack, and you see how it opens its mouth right there. I don't think mine does that, but like I said, I did it in the packaging. I don't know. But and then this, the chomp right there, and as you can tell that it just tells you it has sounds and stuff. It does work. The roar works, but I don't think the actual gimmick, the main gimmick, works all the way. But we'll see. And then here, there's the little arrow that tells you at the button right there for the chomping sound. But here's the back of the packaging. You get a better idea what it does. And so, like I said, it just you press the button down there and it strikes. It does that little winding motion. And then here you press underneath the tail and it opens. So, well, all right, then let's go ahead and open this thing up. And it's a very large figure. It's one thing to watch people's reviews on it, but to have it in hand and see how it barely fits in my screen on my phone as I'm recording, it's very large. So anyways, let's go ahead and take this thing out of the package and take a closer look at it. Alright, so I finally got it out of its packaging, and I must say it's a pretty impressive figure. I know a lot of collectors hated this gimmick. Some liked it, but majority, if not most, did not, just because of how the way the mechanism is and how it looks. You can't really stand it the way you want it without it sloping on one side and stuff. And where I have it right now, that's a sweet spot for where it to stand and look pretty decent. Hey, it is what it is. It's made for kids, and they're trying something different. And I'm pretty sure they'll release a better version of it, specifically mainly the Hammond Collection one. So I'm sure a lot of people are holding out for that. So, which is fine. Hammond Collection is cool. It's not for everybody. It's not for me. I do have a couple of them here and there, but other than that, it's not a line that I'm collecting like that. You know, if I can get a species that's a lot better than what I currently have as far as when it comes to my collection, say like the Concavinator, and I got that. I found him at Ross, because the ones that I have are not, they're cool looking, but they don't look right. They don't stand. You know, they look weird when they're standing for some reason. So over time, they just kind of had this jip where it's just like, I don't know how to explain it. And it's kind of leaning on one side or whatnot, but I had to upgrade that to the Hammond Collection because it's a much better looking figure, and it stands more proportion than the two figures that I got of it from the main line, if that makes any sense. But anyways, I'm happy with this. I like the way it looks. You know, it looks good. It's a beefy figure, and it goes in scale with what I collect. So I'm good with it, despite the ugly action gimmick. But anyways, let's go ahead and take a closer look at this thing. Let's go ahead and take a look at the head sculpt. I know that this isn't entirely film accurate. It's a little bit larger and it needs to be more thinned out as compared to the movie. But you gotta remember, this is mainly so for the action gimmick. So that's why it's a little bit more thicker than thinner on a head sculpt. And of course, the paint scheme is not all entirely accurate as well. As you could tell that this was made out of this green plastic, the mixture with a little bit of white in it, and of course, you know, the black paint that goes on the side of the tail. It's not all the way flushed, you know. You got a little bit here, and then all the way down here you got nothing, just the little sides here. And I've seen customizers take this figure and take out the mechanisms and make it to where it'd be more straighter and doesn't have the mechanism, but still have that chomping action feature. And they've actually painted more so here, more on the head, on the top of the head, and they thinned out the face and stuff. No, they did a real good job on it. So I'm not going to do that because I don't know nothing about that. I don't know how to do anything about anything like that. My luck, I would break the toy and I would never be able to put it back together again, you know. But anyways, but for what it is, for me, I mean, I like it. It's a good sculpt. I know it's not film accurate, but it's a good sculpt for what it is. It's got the little slit on the eyes, and then here, you got a little slit in the eyes right there, so the eyes look pretty good. You can tell you got the white mixture right there on that side, and then you got the little white mixture here on the back of the jaw right there. So it's not too bad. And then you got the little white mixture here along the legs on that side, and then you got a splotch right there. So I understand they do that just to kind of make the figure stand out a little bit better or more, but in my opinion, it looks ugly. So in here, the way it stands, you have to position the ball for it to look good like that for that side. And then if you want to see, and then when you look on this side, it looks a big old looks like a big old mass right there. And then you would have to do the same thing for this side. And then on that side, it looks like a big old ball of mass right there. But hey, to each his own, you know. But it is what it is. But overall, as far as the paint goes, and how they painted along the neck, the back, and the tail, it's okay, you know. It's not bad. It's a lot more than what they usually would typically use. I just hate the fact that they just did that, and they could have just kind of used this point just to kind of paint the top of the spines. It would have been a lot better, in my opinion. Another thing to point out is that this button right here that does the main feature, it's rubber. So, which is really cool. What I would have liked to have seen is they used this rubber and just kind of used for the rest of the tail in the back, for this little sail all the way down here, all the way down there. That would have been pretty cool, you know, just have that rubber feel for the top part of the figure. That would have been awesome. But anyways, other than that, as far as the overall figure, it's a great looking figure. Love the fact that it's got the little battle damage here with the scratches along the legs, you know, in the calf area. Here's the hind legs, like a bunch. You can tell it's got a bunch of scratches, like all right there. You can tell it's been through some shit, you know. So, and then not so much on this side. It's mainly on the other side, but you know, you got a little bit of scratches here and there, you know, but it's more so on the other side of the leg. And then you got a little bit right there. And then here, I do like the fact that they gave it this crocodilian-like scaling here on the back, mainly for the tail. So it's basically here on the neck, all the way down that crocodile, what am I saying? Crocodilian-like scaling on the back of its head, here on the neck portion. Goes all the way down here, all the way down the back, and alongside the tail. And then you got the smoother side here on the bottom, and then, you know, not so scaly on the sides. And what's even more impressive is they painted the feet, so that's even more cooler. No paint claws. So then I do like the fact that now with their main line, they using these plastic teeth. Before it was just bolted in with the figure, and it looked kind of ugly, but here it looks a lot better. So you can, if you wanted to customize, you could take these out and make them look better. So I do like the fact that they gave it an extra rows of teeth right there, here on the top. So it looks good. Get the wet tongue look right there, and then for the gums and everything. So I do like that. So as far as way of articulation, here, as far as the legs go, you can move the legs forwards and backwards, and I don't think it's got the inner thigh, but of course, you know, you can move the ankles here, forwards, backwards, and you can move the ankles. You can move it inwards, but you can't move it outwards, so it just lines up like that. And I'm sure you probably could move it outwards if you just heat it up a little bit, but who's going to want to do that? And then for the arms are just basic on a ball, and they, you know, just no hinges or anything. So it's just up and down. So special right there. So, and then of course you got all these hinges here for the tail. So that way for the action feature. So I do like that. I like the fact that they did that with the tail, and because they made it a little longer than what it normally would have been if they didn't included that. So, all right. So let's go ahead and do the scan code real quick for those who haven't gotten it. So there you go. So here is the action feature button right there. And let's go ahead and face the figure right there. And go ahead, put it right there where my hand is, where the rubber piece is. Press down. All right, so like I said, I don't think the jaws didn't open on mine. It might have on other people's reviews. I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments below if it did on y'all's figures that have this. But I'm not too terribly worried about it because these are for display purposes only. I don't take out my figures that often to play with them. I do sometimes, but not all the time. So I'm not going to really trip on that if it doesn't work, because this is going to be in my collection. It's not going to go anywhere. Okay, and so then the second gimmick is there's a button right here at the bottom of the tail right there. And then you can press it right there. So as far as the action gimmick goes, I think maybe you can probably do it as a dual action. So like, so maybe you're supposed to press it at the same time to do it. I just thought maybe if you just do the top button when it does the main feature that it's supposed to open, maybe that's on me for not knowing that. But yeah, let me know in the comments below if y'all's open like that when you just do the top button only for the main feature. All right, so overall, as far as this figure goes, I really do like it a lot. It's a lot bigger in the hand than what you would think. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of comparisons. All right, so here's the first comparisons with Rexy, and pretty much almost the same size, but not quite. I think the only thing that's different is the fact that the Giga is a little bit taller. Let's see. See that? So it's maybe a little bit taller in the sail part and everything, but in the, I think in reality the Giga is just a hair bit bigger than the T-Rex. So size is fine. I don't have no issues with it. But I do like the comparisons to have two different big, large apex predators. So even though Rexy's a female, it's more so the Giga, it's more the apex. And then next we have the Therizinosaurus, which is a pretty good size figure as well. So it goes in scale well. So I do like the fact that Mattel, is giving us larger figures, that kind of go in scale with their universe is supposed to be about. So it's a very honest scaling, I think. So very happy with it. I don't have an issue with it. So it's very nicely done, even though the Therizina is a little taller due because of its long neck. But as far as the length goes, it's not as long as the Giga. So you can tell it's a much shorter figure, So very happy about that. Of course, next we have the Atrociraptor pack. So that's a nice scaling compared to the Giga. So I do like I like how that sizes up with them as well. So you can tell how big this figure is, And last but not least, here it is next to a vehicle and a human. So like I said, it's a fairly large figure. So I think it goes in scale the way it's supposed to be, and as far as accuracy goes in real life, it's pretty much accurate for the most part. It should be maybe a hair bit bigger, but as far as for what they're going for, I think it works out really well. So overall, I really do like this figure. I think it's very well done as far as the sculpt goes. The paint could have been a little bit better. I wish they would have had added the rubber spine all the way down from the neck all the way down to the tail. It didn't have to be all the way down to the tail, but it could at least stop right there. I think that would have been a very nice touch with that, and I think a lot of people would have liked that as well. But as far as the main feature, it sucks. The main gimmick sucks. I'm with the minority here when it comes to not liking this gimmick. But aside from that, it's a good figure. It's like I said, the sculpting is great. The paint apps is decent. Could have been better, but it's decent. It's a lot better than what we normally would get from other figures. We actually got painted toe claws and stuff like that. And I do like the addition of the plastic teeth that they give it, and or gave it. But overall, I'm quite happy with it. I'm glad I waited. I'm glad I waited as long as I did. So I'd rather pay $10 for this thing than $50. I don't think $50 is kind of steep for this thing, but which I understand why. But if anything, if they wanted to sell this for retail, it should have been at least a $40, probably maybe a $35 toy. Probably no less than that. Probably between, like I said, 35 to 40. Not 50. I don't think it was worth that much. But hey, who am I? I'm just a collector. But anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed this review as much as I did reviewing it. And let me know in the comments below what you think of this figure. And if you have it, are you going to add this to your collection if you find it on clearance? And don't forget, words to wisdom. Buy what you love and not what you like. Because if you buy what you like, you will always end up getting rid of it. And I will catch y'all later.